Hey, what's up, guys? Krazie. We got a little treat for you. Got the man himself, of course, Razor here with me. We're going to do a little, of course, Gears of War beta review for we both got access to the beta. And first up, we're going to show off some of my crappy gameplay footage. It's been a long time since I played any Gears, and guess what? It shows, as you can see here. But let's talk about on the Xbox One. This video may not show it, but it is silky smooth. Razor, you're more of a Gears fan than I am, and you've been actually keeping up with it a lot more. Why don't you give us your take on Gears as it sits right now?
Oh man, this is something that I've been waiting for a really long time. If you guys have been following us on Twitter, you guys know that I am a big Gears fan. We picked up a team a few months ago with the vision that this was going to be, that this was going to happen. We may have had an inside tip. I can't confirm or deny, but I will say that we're definitely preparing for it, and I'm really excited. The beta is very limited, so you can only play 2 different maps right now and 2 different game modes. Casual and competitive, and both of them are like Team Deathmatch or King of the Hill game types. But it ultimately is Gears of War 1, just a little bit fresher, a little bit cleaner. 1080p 60 frames per second really changes the fluidity of Gears of War for me. If you guys remember back in 06 when you were playing Gears of War on the 360, you had to lead shots in a certain way. You had to bounce off of walls in a certain way if you really wanted to make your shotgun poke in that direction to be able to get the wall bouncing. And now it just seems like that it's almost an unnecessary adjustment. Like, everything is just so fluid. That's, I guess, the only real word that I can use to describe it. It feels so much like Gears, but it feels like that you're playing a new Gears, which is, I think, exactly what they wanted to hit, is, kind of keeping that Gears of War nostalgia from playing the very first Gears, but breaking it back to this generation and making it something that's fresh and utilizing all of the resources on the Xbox One. Can't wait to see more, honestly. I really can't wait to see execution game modes and some other things thrown into the fray.
Yeah, right now you can't play with friends on it, unfortunately, otherwise we'd have been in a lobby together, and we found out the hard way you can't play with friends on the beta as of yet. Maybe they'll change that in the next couple days. I don't even know how long the beta is going. Do you?
They have not said when the beta will end, and I'm hoping that it goes all the way up until, the early launch of it. Absolutely. Because what they want to do is they want to collect as much data as possible for this game from people. And the other thing about this is thanks to Hypefestation, Gears of War eSports is very much alive. It's never been one of those games that's been massive like, I'll say, Call of Duty or Halo. Halo more so back in the day. But if you guys remember, Gears of War was the pioneer game back when Game Battles launched in, 06, 07. It was Halo and it was Gears of War. And when Call of Duty launched, because Call of Duty launched with a broadcaster mode, it was just simpler for them to move to Call of Duty, and it was cheaper for them to move to Call of Duty. That's mainly the reason why Call of Duty is where it is because Gears of War didn't have a broadcaster mode. With this new iteration of Gears, eSports can go really far for Gears of War, and they're definitely taking that in consideration. So they're talking with the teams that are currently involved. They're paying attention to things, and I really can't wait to see what they do with the eSports circuit, starting it back up with Gears of War remastered.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. After playing the Gears of War remastered 2, it's like the lights have come on, the halo of glowing aura coming down from the heavens. I understand now. It's really good, guys. If you didn't get a chance to participate, head over to the website, check it out on Twitter. I'm sure Razor here will put it in the description when this upload gets done. Get signed up. Hopefully you'll get in time before they shut it down. Maybe you get a few games in. If you do have the Xbox One, give it a try. It is amazing. I there's really no words for how it plays compared to the original Gears. It is so much more crisp and fine-tuned, and I get the impression that this beta is also getting a better sense of their online system to make multiplayer that much better. Microsoft may have learned their lesson with the Master Chief Collection debacle and not doing a proper beta with the Xbox One to make sure everything was up and running at release, and they're still paying for it with that debacle. And I think we're going to see a lot more beta tests coming for the multiplayer stuff from Xbox in particular, and their first-person shooter or their first-party titles in the future, just because of Master Chief Collection, which is why we're probably seeing this, because this one's going to be under a high amount of scrutiny. Would you agree with that one, Razor?
You know, I always say this is always learn from your mistakes, because nobody is perfect. Everybody's gonna make mistakes, and the Master Chief Collection was a huge mistake. They didn't take their time with a game that had so much hype behind it and so many people really waiting for the game to launch. To date, it still has so many issues, and it would just be a shame to see Gears of War fall in that same category. So I definitely think you hit the nail on the head there. They want as much beta participation as they can get. That's why, you know, they had it at an E3 launch, to get it out there to the masses as big as they possibly could, because Gears, again, doesn't have the biggest following when you compare it to some other games. But to get more people in there, they need a mass audience to be able to see it. So yes, they need you guys to be able to participate in the beta, so we don't have the same issues with this remastered version like we did with the remastered version of Halo.
Now, since we are talking Gears, and they did show off a little bit, of course, Gears 4 at E3, do you think this is a preview of how Gears 4 is going to work and play, or do you think this is more of a tune-up?
I think this is exactly what you're saying. It is a hype, and if you notice, it's not exactly the same Gears of War. There are some upgrades. There are some changes that they have made, some lessons that they have learned from Gears 2, Gears 3, and yes, even Gears Judgment. If you notice, the sniper rifle is the same sniper rifle that was in Gears 2, which was the more favored one. There are some other distinct differences that you will notice as you play the game, and I think as they unlock more things, you'll notice more as it comes down to it. So I do think that this, in some ways, is a kind of a preview of Gears of War 4, because what I'm hoping and what they've kind of said from E3 is that Gears 4 is going to be the culmination of everything that they've had from Gears in the past. They know that they've made mistakes, they know their mistakes, and they want to move forward with making something that was great like the original Gears was. Because they kind of lost some of that with some of the other iterations of it.
Now let's get back to the multiplayer experience before we shut this down. You are, the veteran here between the two of us of course, the multiplayer community with Gears of War. And of course, I'm sure a lot of people are asking about how much it has, since they made these changes, and with this small glimpse at it, how are the spawns? Do everything spawn in the right places? The weapon spawns, things like that.
Well, actually, they've made some really great changes in that aspect, and right now, again, you only have two different game modes that you can play, which is Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill. And when you flood out a spawn, so say you get 4 down, and obviously there's only 2 spawn areas in a game like Gears of War, so it's really easy to be able to camp an area of spawn. It actually notifies you when the spawns have changed, so that you can make the adjustments on the map, and so your team can make the adjustments on the map. That's a feature that I definitely think is going to be useful. But also take into consideration that the other team does know they get the same message just as you get the same message. So, I mean, for lesser teams going against higher caliber teams, it could be a more pain situation than a blessing, and they could get, spawn camped. But I think that for what you have right now in an early beta and with the limited game modes that I've seen, definitely going to be fun to play these ones. But I don't think we really have played the game yet, because when you're talking about playing Gears of War on a competitive level, you're talking about execution game type modes, and you're talking about not having multiple respawn lives. So right now, I definitely say that the balance is there for a respawn game mode. We'll see in the future what the changes are with their competitive game modes.
Dude, thank you so much. Let's wrap this up. Of course, we have so much more E3 stuff to talk about in the future, guys. We're going to be... I recorded so much footage. It's ridiculous to pour through. Pretty much all the trailers, everything. So we're going to be showing a lot more off in the coming couple of months here on the Vex channel. So reach down, hit that subscribe button, and keep up on all the news from the Vex family. Thank you for watching. Peace out, guys.